Hey guys, ViewMasters Reactions here, and this is going to be a review of the new Child's Play movie. I just saw it. I literally did a double feature. I did this and Toy Story 4. I thought it was a unique coincidence. I can't imagine this was intentional, but the fact that two toy movies came out on the same night, one is a remake or a new spin, I'd say, on Child's Play, which was from the 80s. And then you also have Toy Story 4, which is going back almost, 20 years now? I remember, I think, seeing that in high school, possibly. It's got to be going on like 15, 20 years. I just thought it was hilarious that opening night was Child's Play and Toy Story 4. So I did a double feature. I saw them both. I'm wearing this because while I was doing that, I was also watching the NBA draft, which is on, and I am a Boston Celtics fan. Anyhow, this movie, shockingly, I thought was very good. I'm not going to do spoilers. I'll do like a little minute at the end or something like that. No spoilers. This movie shocked me. I was actually going into this expecting it to be horrible. I only went because Child's Play, the original, is the first horror movie I recall ever seeing. My mom was a huge horror fan, and I don't know, maybe it's not, but all I know is Child's Play sticks in my head as being like the first movie I recall seeing when I was a kid. Right after it came out in theaters, I remember my mom renting the VHS tape, and I was hiding behind the couch and watching her watch it. And she caught me, and it was like near the end, so I guess she put me to bed and I never saw it. But then one day I saw it again because I was older and allowed to see such things. First things first, look at this picture. That is the picture we saw of Chucky from the beginning. I think even before the first trailer dropped. And it is creepy looking. All right, I'll give you that. But it is like, I don't know, really fake and weird to me. I just don't get it. Now, if you guys are really big movie buffs and you've seen a lot of things like I have, then maybe you've heard of a guy called Munchie from the 90s. Munchie from the 90s, voiced by Dom DeLuise. This thing reminds me so much of Munchie that I'm going to actually take 2 minutes to go find a picture so you guys could see it without having to look it up. Boom, there it is, Munchie from the 1990s. I want to say like 1991. I probably could have just looked at it, but I already turned the app off, so I can't see it now. But tell me that creepy looking thing voiced by Dom DeLuise, it was like a weird, like, I don't know if it was a kid's movie or just a really bad horror movie, but this was a little puppet, or like it was practical effects back in the 90s. Every time I see this face, I think of this. And this was from 30 years ago. You're telling me you couldn't do a little better? It's supposed to be robotic, and he's supposed to be like artificial intelligence, like AI robot guy. All right, I get it. Why do you have to make him so weird looking? It just looks so weird to me. Like, it isn't even like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. There's got to be more of you understanding what I'm saying. It's not that it's bad. It's just really weird. Like, why make his features so like big? Like, even if you say, oh, he's got to make the eyes big because they're cameras, because that's what they are. But why do you got to make it so freaking fat and creepy? That was the only thing I had against this movie. Other than me seeing Munchie every time he came on screen, the movie was actually really good. The acting was good. The kills were phenomenal. They actually had really bloody, gory, unique kills. Some were like, have been done before kind of thing, but like only if you're like deep into the horror genre. So I actually was really impressed with all around everything. The kid, even though he was older, it kind of worked. He carried his own. He also reminded me a lot of Elliot from E.T. If you look at this kid in the movie, he's wearing the same clothes as Elliot, the red hoodie, and he even looks like Elliot. I don't know if that was a thing they were going for. It's got to be something. That can't be a coincidence, because it's almost like a throwback to an old 80s movie, and it's science fiction horror, so to speak, and he looks like Elliot, which was in the 80s. I just can't imagine that was accidental. But everything was great. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Mark Hamill does the voice for him. He did a really good job. You can hear Mark Hamill in the voice, as you can with most of his voiceover acting, but I had no problem with it. It was a little weird in the beginning, I will say, getting used to the fact that he like walks around with the kid. And that's not really spoiling anything because it happens like in the first 2 seconds. But I don't know. It was a very well done movie. Very good kills, very good gore, very good acting, very good humor. There's a lot of jokes in this. Here's where I'm going to say spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any more, turn it off. But at the end, they do lead it up for a sequel. I'm assuming they will if it does good. My theater was sold out, so I'm thinking maybe it's doing good. It couldn't have cost a whole lot of money to make this. The budget's probably really low, so I see them being able to make their money back, profit off this, and make a sequel. This is spoilers now. He basically is thinking that what he's doing is normal. He is not a possessed doll like he is in the original. He is AI that is learning as he goes. And one day they're all watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre and they're all laughing at the violent kills. So in his mind, he's thinking, oh, they like violent killing. That like makes them laugh. They enjoy that. So they're my friends. I want to do that. I want to kill things. He actually is doing it to fit in the beginning. Very quickly, it just turns into all out horror where he's just murdering everybody. In the beginning, I really dug it because it was actually like showing how he was processing things. And he like was like, all right, they like bloody horror movies. They're laughing to it. I want to fit in. These are my buddies. So like, I want to like, now I got to go kill people and they'll appreciate that. But then he just went off the wall crazy because then they hated him because he was killing or trying to kill people. And then he was like, oh, well, I'm going to kill you now because you're supposed to be my friends. I kind of get it, but I dug the beginning, how it like was making it more realistic. Then the end just kind of went all out horror. It started very like early 90s, late 80s nostalgic. The music, the look, everything was very like similar to the original. The music was point on. The music was phenomenal. But then it went to like almost like a very like smart film, and then it went into all out horror and gore at the end. I dug all of it, but it was like it almost was like it didn't know what it wanted to be. I was very engaged the whole time. I wasn't bored for a second. It's a very fast movie. I think it's like 120 minutes if you don't count the credits. You don't really have to have a long movie as long as you get the point across, and it kind of did its job. I was very impressed. He had a group of friends. They kind of did like a Stranger Things kind of thing for like maybe 10 or 20 minutes towards the end. He has the ability with Wi-Fi or whatever you want to call it to just like turn on everything else. And at the end, he makes like an all-out war with the dolls and stuff. It was very well done. There's different variations of My Buddy. There's like a black My Buddy. There's a bear My Buddy. There's like blonde, ginger. There's a joke in the beginning. It's like a black guy that comes to return his kids My Buddy. And he's like, I didn't want no ginger. And she's like, I don't know if you could say that word. It was very funny. I liked how they spun the whole thing. All in all, I really did enjoy this movie. But it keeps making me think of Munchie. And I guess that's not really a bad thing because I used to watch this all the time as a kid, which is really bizarre. But I had it on VHS. I don't remember why. I must have been at the store and I thought he looked interesting and he was on the cover. So I asked my mom to buy it for me. And Dom DeLuise does the voice. Dom DeLuise was big in like Burt Reynolds movies and stuff like that. So I don't know. Every time I do a movie review, I forget to do some sort of ranking. So I'm going to start that now. If I haven't done it before, then here we go. If I had to rank this, I would say it's about a 7. I'd give it a solid 7. It isn't like the greatest thing ever, but it definitely was higher than my expectations, and everything was pretty well done. The face I just can't get around. And there were a couple things I can nitpick about and stuff like that. Some things were a little over the top. Some things were cheesy. But I think a 7 is a pretty good rating, especially for a movie that's a remake of a classic. I enjoyed it all around. I would recommend it, guys. So you let me know what you think. Comments down below. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.